and identification is there. Okay. Now see, one hidden question is here. One hidden question is here in this chapter is that what is opportunity scanning? In fact, what is opportunity scanning and why it is required? Now, you may get a question like if project formulation is there means a question may come in that what is opportunity scanning or opportunity analysis, why it is required and how it is done. See, this is a small question. Either you may get it in as a part of a long question or a short type question. Now, everywhere, whenever we start any kind of task, we always try to find out what result I will get. It is otherwise we can say that the ROI, return on investment. Otherwise, what is my benefit? Suppose kon karibo tamu gote kamo issue hela ba gote kamo tamu assign karagala. So you always ask yourself or to the person who had assigned you is that what I will get out of it, what benefit I will get. Now you see, always we try to find out the opportunities which will certainly will beneficial for the individual who is working. Like in case of project formulation, the opportunity analysis is the beginning. In fact, the project is formed with the analysis of the opportunities we have already discussed, the SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity and threatening. See what that opportunity is. You can write one or two lines. Opportunity is the basic. It is the basic of formation of a project. Formation of a project. Where an entrepreneur tries to find out or to locate the possible outcome, benefits or opportunities, outcome or opportunities which may come as the result of the steps, either in a short run period or in a long run period. So either in a short run period or in a long run period. Like that means we are trying to assess or examine the possible outcomes. Now see, in case of this, the entrepreneur usually identify three kinds of opportunities. These three kind of opportunities are certain opportunities are like are less reactive, certain are reactive, certain are more reactive. Certain are less result oriented, or more result oriented. So if we'll define, suppose this opportunity, we always identify whatever task we are doing. Okay, now these three are, one is additive, one is complementary, and another is your breakthrough. So it is like this: one is additive, one is complementary, and the third one is your breakthrough. Additive, complementary, and breakthrough. So these are the three stages or three phases of opportunities. Now, what is that additive? Initially, it is the initial opportunity where the quantity or the quantum of return is very less, or it is very less reactive. You can write down it is substance added. Additive is the substance added to a portion of the organization, or it is otherwise we can say small changes are there. Small changes. So, or small small initiatives are to be taken. This is otherwise we can say it is the reaction. It is very less reactive, less changes, less reactive, less changes. Okay. Then next is your complementary opportunities. It involves the introduction of new ideas. What it includes? It includes the introduction of new ideas and and which lead to certain amount of change in the existing system. What is that? It is the involvement of certain new idea which will otherwise implement changes in the organization to an extent, and it is more than additive. Complementary change, complementary additive change, complementary change, and breakthrough change. That you can also write there in the MCSI paper. Now, additive is less reactive, where the organization tries to find out the opportunity not in a larger, not in a macro sense, not in a bigger sense. It is a partial change. Partial change, types of change of partial change. Another is your complete by whole change or strategic change. Partial change is otherwise your additive is partial change. Next is your complementary, is that it is otherwise what we are doing, we are trying to change the idea, the process is changed. The way of doing things are being changed, not the structure, but your breakthrough is a measure change. It is a measure change. Otherwise, we can say it is where the organization seeks opportunities in a larger way. Okay, so larger way in the sense, we can say that change of structures, change of, we can say re-engineering concepts are there, and many more. It is complete or whole. So this starts from M to M. This is micro to macro. Micro to macro, the movement is like this. In case of initial, opportunity, it is not that more reactive or much reactive. It is medium, complementary is medium, and breakthrough is complete or it is a bigger. Now you can write the breakthrough opportunity involves the fundamental changes both in the structure as well as we can say that the strategy, the system, the style, or else broadly we can say shared values. All the S parameters have to be changed. It is otherwise we can say it is complete change implementation in the organization where we seek larger outcome. Here we seek lower outcome. Here we seek larger outcome. Now we can also say that the additive are basically applied in the farm, which are we can say that small units basically adopts additive change or additive. They basically go for additive opportunities. Then the medium farms, they usually, when you are expanding from small to medium, then we go with complementary. Then when you are expanding from medium to larger, then you go for breakthrough. गोटे यूनिट इनिशियली जेतोले छोटो रे अछि सेतोले से मोस्टली हमें कहउछ एडिटिव स्टाइल अडॉप्ट करछि अपॉर्चुनिटी स्कैनिंग करछि जेतोले से ए टू शिफ्ट करछि मीडियम enterprise को medium scale enterprise को then he needs to adopt complementary because he needs to change the idea thought process so that new things can be introduced. But when the medium scale ru जेतोले से larger scale or large scale unit को can shift करूछि then the breakthrough opportunities are identified. It can also be discussed from micro to macro or small scale enterprise to medium scale enterprise to large scale enterprise. Okay, from small scale to large scale. Now see, why we are doing? See, organization always intend to expand and to grow, to sustain and to develop. Okay, that these are the basic characteristics of organization. Now, if organization wants to grow, then that means the organization should constantly and continuously implement change and to find out sorts of opportunities. If you are unable to identify the opportunities, then you will never grow. Now, if you need to grow, then you need to find out whether that opportunity is additive, whether the opportunity is complementary, and whether the opportunities are breakthrough. Breakthrough is larger, it is bigger, but additive is smaller. The outcome and the results are small in part. So you may get a short question like what is opportunity scanning and how it is done or why it is done. Now, the opportunity scanning reduces the risk factor. Opportunity scanning reduces the burden of work. It shows the roadmap. It designs a path, and it always identifies the destination in advance. If you are able to identify the opportunities before taking up steps, then what will happen? You can design the roadmap. You can go with a flowchart. A systematic flowchart can be designed. And another is that the entrepreneur can avoid the uncertainties and risk parameters. The risk parameters and uncertainties can be reduced to an extent. So these are the basic objective of scanning the opportunities in case of enterprise point of view. I hope you must have understood the concept of opportunity scanning and why it is important in case of your formation of project. Now, formation of project, the long question may come in the examination. The unit 3, it includes formulation of project, appraisal, profitability, and risk analysis. Now, project formulation, just write 1 or 2 lines. The formation of project is the beginning, the formation of project is the beginning of all the enterprises. It is the beginning of all the enterprises which are funded or sponsored by different financial institutions. Funded or financed by different financial institutions. Sponsored by different financial institutions. Now, this is all about your beginning. Why the project is to be formulated? The project, where we basically go with formation of project. The formation of project can only be done when you need finance, when you need to project your project in front of others for enhancement, for modernization, for technological alignment, for MNCs. So these are the basic criteria for which you need to prepare the project. Now, project always reduces the uncertainties, in fact, because again, the opportunity and project formulation always intact together. Now, this step is like this. You should have the idea. Then once you have gathered the idea, then you need to identify the opportunities. Then you can form the project. So idea is to be generated. We have already discussed. Next, you need to go for the opportunity scanning. Then we can go for the, and opportunity scanning is what? It is related to the unit which you are setting. The step what you are taking, you need to find out the opportunities, then form of the project, formation of the project. Now, there are several obstacles are there. There are several obstacles are there while setting up the unit. You know the obstacles better. Now, these obstacles can be reduced or can also be avoided if you are preparing the project. Now, what are the obstacles are there? One is that influence of external economics. The obstacles which we basically identify is that one is influence of external economics. Now, the business houses are always surrounded. The first point I have stated, in which way the project is helpful to the enterprise. See, the enterprises are always surrounded with different economic parameters, conditions. Okay, now what is that? Now these economic conditions constantly and continuously influence the practices of the organization. Now, if you are forming a project, then what will happen? You will prepare the budget, you will calculate the estimated expenditure in an advance. You will calculate what is that budget. Budget is the calculation of estimated future expenditure in advance. Now, these economic surrounding or economic influences which may put you in a negative situation or condition can be avoided, can be eradicated, can be we can face it at least. We cannot show back. At least we can face in a stronger way if you are able to prepare the project. So the first is that external influence of the economic condition will certainly be avoided. It also includes your like we can say the financial status, your rules, regulations of the finance department. These all can be studied. Then another is that selection of appropriate technology. First point is, second point is selection of appropriate technology. Now, it is a difficult task because we have less knowledge on the modernization and the technology which are there working with foreign markets, foreign organizations. Now in this MNC world, in this globalized world, you need to adopt the technology which will supplement the present technology or outdated technology what you are using for coming 10 to 15 years. Right now, that is how the things are happening. Move examples class re diye eta deithibi nischint rupe kahi na jetebele years back 10 years back 10 years back my predecessor Professor SP Pani had a tender was there. So there is a discussion it was for like procurement of server thila. Procurement server I was a small person in that meeting, which was sitting in the corner of the meeting. I was just looking how he is handling. Now what happened? Say kon koruchon sir kon korthile na kahile ki kete tanga budget amar achi na amar 5 lakh tanga achi now make it 20 lakhs mu kahili kon emti kon kolen 20 lakhs kon na kohchandi se kohchandi nahi we want to procure a server which will support us for coming 15 years. एमिति गोटे सर्वर मते दियो जोटा के आसंता 15 वर्ष जाय मते सपोर्ट करियो and you cannot imagine he spent 15 lakhs in that and you cannot imagine still that server is with us now 12 years in between it is already, we have already passed, we have already worked with that server 12 years. Now that is how the things have to be happened. Now why? Because he must have studied the external market, he must have studied the economy, I'm sorry, the technological parameters, modernization. So it is a difficult task for the enterprise. Now if you are preparing the project, then setting up appropriate technology can be identified. And another is your next point, why the project report is to be formulated. Next is your qualified or technical people. Strength of qualified and technical people, like shortage of qualified and technical people. Now that is one major problem in the organization. It is very difficult to get qualified technological people. This is first. Second is the retention of such people is another task. Are you getting a point? One is that to select or to identify and to put them into work. This is the biggest job. Then second is that once you have identified and you have recruited them, the second is the retention. Retention is a very tension job. And qualified, talented look. Retention, we do not want to retain those who are non-performing assets. Non-performing assets organization le achi joudako no ame koche zero return douchandi joudako amra bad debt am pai. So semti employees madhya achandi non-performing employees. Okay, now this is what is we can say shortage of qualified and technical people. Now if you prepare people, then you can specify the people with the qualifications. Now project formulation the prathama rahila ki kete prakar ote team you need to form. You need to form a team where one should have adequate knowledge on legal aspects, one should have adequate knowledge on finance, one should have adequate knowledge on the technology which you want to introduce or which are already there in the organization. So a tinita parameter amara bahut important. Goterla legal parameters, goterla finance loko, goterla technical loko. If these three are there, then organization can run in its best way. So that is another. With the project, we can go with we can identify the qualified people and how to work with them. The next is that resource mobilization. See, this is the fourth problem in case of like you're starting of a unit or setting of a unit. Now, resource mobilization is the context of the present day. In fact, development of magnitude and size of the project, it would be very difficult for an entrepreneur to provide the entire developmental capital that the project may need it. Right. So the resource mobilization is a difficult task. Now, where to get such finance or funding? Now, project is only helpful to the entrepreneur to set up the units. So that is what we need to mobilize the resources. The mostly we can say the finance, mostly we can say the funding, mostly we can say the capital. Now this is another which will also supplement, which will also help in case of designing of a proper project. Now another is that knowledge about government regulations, rules. So this is another. Now in case of preparation of project, this can also be eradicated because you see, besides the problem what I have discussed here, you see, government regulations are very rigid, very strict. See, when I went to Puri, I saw many hotels are closed down. जेमती भूत कोठी थाए सेमती भूत कोठी से होटल गुडा तार झरका नाही काचा नाही भितरे कोन थिबा खाली ता भितरे खाली दिस अंधार हे की अछि गोटे सिक्युरिटी गार्ड सेमती ठुंटा हे की बइछ कोन ना these are already closed. Once upon a time these hotels were flourishing in the market, but now it is closed because they are unable to cope up with the changing government regulations. जो गवर्नमेंट रेगुलेशंस रूल्स थिला ताको से माने कोप करि परले नाही सेति पई सेडा गवर्नमेंट को क्लोज कर दे ना रूल्स रेगुलेशन ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट इज वेरी रिजिड वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट. Okay, so you need to go with that. You need to develop a parameter in such a manner. Now that is also possible if you are preparing a systematic project. Now you see, project appraisal is done. Now that is also there. A systematic evaluation of project reports are done. You need to, we will also give the points in that. Next is now the concept of project formation. Just write one or two lines. I hope you must be writing the points what I am discussing. All of you are writing?
Yes, sir.
लिखुचा तमे लिखुचा आउ अन्य माने?
Yes, sir.
समस्त लिखुचंदी?
Yes, sir.
और पठेबो तो देखिबा स्क्रीनशॉट करी कोन कोन लिखिछ सब. हला. Now just line one or two, write one or two lines. Project formulation is a systematic, it is a systematic development of, it is a systematic development of project idea. Project idea, it is a systematic development of project idea which identifies the objective of all the investment decisions. The objective of all the investment decisions. Now see, investment decision means हमें कहूचे कि finance रे invest कले, time invest कले, okay, area रे invest कले, manpower रे invest कले, objectives सबो investment decision नेचे तार हमको objective identify करिबा को पड़िबो. So it has to be built up in such a manner, a mechanism is to be drawn in such a manner where the resources utilization, the utilization of resources is to be identified. Resource जोठी हमें utilize करछो ताकू हमें identify करि परिबा. And because project evaluation, this project formation, in fact I'm sorry, project formulation involves a step by step investigation. The project formulation involves a step-by-step investigation and development of project idea. It provides a controlled mechanism for restricting the expenditures, restricting the unnecessary expenditures, right? Restricting the unnecessary expenditures, wastage of resources, identifying the specific duration and time period, identifying the specific duration and time period for giving of the outcome or output, etc. project formulation is a process. It is a process. It is a systematic process of involving different specialized people, team of experts, and each of the member should be familiar with the broad strategy, objectives, and other ingredients of the proposed business or proposed project. The final approval of the government department, will identify the worth of the project formulation. Different individuals such as a person from the finance sector, industry, technical background, must be in the team, if the project is formulated for a larger unit. Now, if the project is on the basis of a breakthrough coach, so the breakthrough project tar industrial engineer thibe, technical loco thibe, industrial economics sound knowledge thibo, finance में thibo, so that what will happen, the project can be formulated easily. Now, what are the different, like we can say, part of the project formulation? कौन part आमे कहूचे गोटे प्रोजेक्ट रे कौन थिबा दरकार? So तमे एटा गोटे क्वेश्चन एमती स्पेसिफिक पड़ी पारे क्वेश्चन रे बा प्रोजेक्ट फॉर्मुलेशन ऊपर गोटे बड़ क्वेश्चन आसिले ताकू systematically जदि opportunity analysis ऊपर पड़िला, then you need to elaborate what opportunity analysis is, why the project is to be formulated, that you need to define why. Now, who are the key members are involved in the project formulation, then you need to write down those. And what are the stages? Okay, what are the broad steps should be there in the project, which should be considered at the time of formulation of the project report. Report is a written parameter, detailed about the organization. Now, what it includes? The first is that general information. A project formation where 8 part divided. It is broadly divided into 8 parts. Most of the projects are broadly divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8টা প্যারামিটার রে it is divided. Just a minute. Sir, namaskar sir. Sir, ଅଛି sir खाता जे खाता हो sir देखे खाता सेठ का सर Okay, sorry. Now, the project report is broadly divided into 8 steps. 8টা step রে আমি total project को আমি divide করেছি। Mostly আমি কহিবা mostly 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 8টা step রে আমি divide କରୁছে প্রত্যেক project को। Now the first is that the general information, it leads to general information. Project formulation में हमें किसी general information. Now what is that general information includes? It includes the details of the member, the biodata of the members, biodata of the governing body, who are they, their address, their detailed address, permanent address, their telephone numbers, and all is to be kept. So the general information includes the biodata, detailed about the people, the industrial profile. It also includes the industrial profile and the product details. And the product details. The initial, it is the introduction of the project. The general information, which includes detail of information of board of directors or the members. Governing body re jo member thanti tankor detail rohibo. Seta rela first. The next is that it will include the industrial profile, the history, industrial profile. The history, code na, tara se jo industry or detail, where the head office is, so the details are to be given. And third is that the objective of the industry, which is otherwise known as the product details. The product, call a product produce kariba ta upare kichi matrare rahiba. If you have any success story, then this is also to be mentioned. If it is an ongoing project, if it is an ongoing organization, then in the project you need to report the detailed strength and weaknesses of your organization. Suppose you want to, if it is a breakthrough, the opportunities, breakthrough opportunities, that means it is an organization which are already served in the society. So at that point of time, you here in the case of formulation, you need to write down the basic
question sir exam ro sir eda sir question
project formulation and what are the different parts of the project.
ठीक
sir. So what are the different sections? What are the different parts of the project? How to form a project? It is the basic question. Okay. Now this is all about the first step of the project formulation of Prathama. The next is that product descriptions. Industrial descriptions. Industrial description. It is the site, physical structure, raw material, power, and water supply. So it includes the site, physical structure, raw materials, and power and water supply. Then next is the third step, market potential. The project usually includes into 8 steps. Broadly, we can say more or less 8 steps are there, 8 stages are there. The first is your general information. The second is that industry descriptions. The third is that market potential. Now there you need to write down the how the product which you are going to produce will helpful to the market, how it will reduce the monopoly, how the customers will accept it. So these are the things that are to be described. Then next, fourth is your capital costs and sources of finance. The capital cost and the sources of finance. So the total investment to be incurred at the initial stage. Then next is from where you can generate the fund, who are they? So that is to be described. Next is the assessment of working capital requirements. Assessment, fifth stage is your assessment of working capital requirements. Sixth is different financial inclusions and exclusions. Different financial inclusions and exclusions. What the other hidden expenditures are there? Financial involvements are there. So that is to be described. Then next is seventh, the economic and social visibles. And so economic and social involvements. What are the economic and social involvements are there? Involvements are there. See, basically, from the very beginning, I've stated that project is prepared for the basic reason is that to enhance the financial prospects, to avail fund, to avail loan from the bank. So maximum you will see main point rahila amar finance to concentrate karuchi, seta ku stepwise discussion hochi. So economic and social variables, economic social inputs, these are to be discussed, and finally project implementations. What it includes? The project implementation includes what?
Sir, last point ta kaun kahile?
Project implementation. What it includes? What it should include, or what I left? Mu kota chhadili bartaman. Kota chhadili. Ko jinsata bhitere nahi. Can you guess? Can anyone guess? Which I have not discussed here in this 7 up to 7. where we have at the end we are writing the name heading is project implementation. Clear? It includes the deadlines. So we can say that year-wise or month-wise or date-wise progress of the project, progress of the enterprise. जदि फाइनेंस हैला ताले प्रथम 2 मास रे एतिकी हेतिबो, द्वितीय 2 मास रे एया हबो, तृतीय 4 मास रे एया हबो, पंचम 2 मास रे एया हबो एंड एतिकी मास भितर प्रोडक्शन आसीबो. So the deadlines or project implementation is to be discussed on what are the different process or stepwise outcome of the project, stepwise outcome of the industry. At the end, if we are getting the fund, then by this year or by this month or by this day, this project will start functioning or start giving its output. Okay, now this is all about your project formulation. The project is formulated with 7 stages, I'm sorry, 8 steps. So starting from general information to project implementation. Clear? Then next is your project appraisal or evaluation. Project appraisal or evaluation. Now who appraises? Ki appraise karuchi project? Who appraises?
Government.
Government. Any other?
Financer or investor, though choose investors.
The first is that the financer or investor. Suppose for example, तुमने जब कि loan avail करिथिबो, if anyone many must be there, जेतबेले तमे हाउस लोन अप्लाई करूछ, सेतबेले कोन करछ ना गोटे बैंक रे गोटे प्रोजेक्ट प्रिपेयर करी on behalf of you जो बिल्डर बा घर ये से देला बा तमे नीचे प्रिपेयर करो बा बैंक तम पे प्रिपेयर करो. Now bank, suppose you have tried to get 50 lakhs or 30 lakhs, the bank will never give you all the money at once. Before giving up the first stage of money, bank will go and visit the sign, bank will evaluate, bank will assess, examine the papers. पूरा आरंभ रो पेपर देखिबो, तार पट्टा देखिबो, तार किए अछंती, कोन अछंती, एतिक वर्षर लोक केते वर्षर से ये लोक हाते जमी अछि. So bank will assess it, bank will examine it. Now see, the reason of आमे कहूचे कि जो non performing assets NPA increase करिवार reason रहिला, the lacuna, the first is that bank is always, if the bank is unable to evaluate the project in a systematic manner, then the NPA will increase. If NPA रे टिके भी ढिला रहि जिवो, evaluation रे टिके भी ढिला रहि जिवो, then what will happen? The NPA will increase. So it is a critical task. Bank analyzes, bank or financial institutions sector analyzes, or the agency which are there to fund the institutions, they usually analyzes the project in a systematic manner. Now just write 1 or 2 lines on that project evaluation or appraisal. So evaluation or appraisal, project evaluation or appraisal is the step where the project is assessed. It is a step where the project is assessed by the financiers, bankers, government agencies, and different institutions such as DIC, NSIC, okay, such as different institutions such as DIC and NSIC. The project is evaluated for both proposed and executed. Data analysis. Proposed and executed projects are always analyzed. So proposed जेतेबेले गोटे नुआ executed जोटा already चलीची ताकू किछि हमें modernization को करूचे, so that is what executed. So both the projects are examined. Now project evaluation is a cost and benefit analysis. It is a cost and benefit analysis of the different aspects of the proposed project. It is a cost and benefit analysis of the different aspects of the proposed project with an objective to why we do it. The objective of evaluation is to adjust its validity, to identify its validity, worth of the project, the validity, worth of the project, and the genuineness of its achievements. The genuineness of its achievements. Project evaluation also includes the assessment of the market requirements, competitor strategy adopted by the similar company. Competitor strategy adopted by the similar company, and identifies the demand of the product of the proposed project. So cost benefit analysis karuchi. Yes, the cost benefit analysis is done. Why? Different prospective analysis from all the corner it is done. Now basically jetebele amara gote organization funding ba loan pai jae jetebele kon ame suppose gote kam ko, even in fact see in our government institution when we give order to a one industry which is under NSIC, in that case also we try to keep the bank guarantee. Are bank guarantee dochi na nai tom pai ba ame kon korchu gote money deposit rakhuchu, earnest money gote tankar deposit korchu 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs jodi 1 crore ro gote product se jane am pakhare supply kariya ko achi ame ta to kiछि tonka gote DD ba gote in form of TDR we usually keep. Now why jodi sabu fail marla sethare ame rakhu terms condition le se lekha aitu. So the detailed evaluations are done. If we are not doing in that way, then the chances of failure will increase or it will become more. So broadly we can say project evaluation taku ame mostly financial aspects re dekhu, ame dekhu product aspects re, market aspects re. So we consider these evaluation from finance, and whether another is that if the project will start producing the product, whether the people will accept it or not. What are the situations are there with the similar kind of products? Nale kono jodi say similar product ro tar kiछि nahi demand, then it arambaru seek hejibo. Or else we try to find out the research gap jo concept thila tanka company re ei product achi, then how your product will different from other. So these are the things are evaluated in case of project evaluation. Now project appraisal is, otherwise we can say it is the study of viability, feasibility, worth and value of the project. So what we assess or what we examine, it examines the viability, feasibility, worth, genuineness, all those things are assessed. So this is how the project we can say that these are the basic objective of project evaluation. Gote au ketera mo point ethi kahi debi tom mane sero lekhi diyo, but I do not have time to discuss all. But still the project appraisal, project evaluation are done with several methods or mechanisms. There are several mechanisms are utilized to evaluate the project. So one is that there are several, ame kabe ki 5-6 ta achi. One is your NPV. What is that NPV? Net present value analysis. Profitability index. What are the mechanism adopt हमें कहबा mechanisms adopted for project evaluation. Mechanisms adopted for project evaluation. You have formulated the project. Now it is the part of the job of the examiner, part of the job of the assessor, part of the job of the banker or financer, or we can say that the institutions or the government. Now, what are the methodology adopted to evaluate it? One is that the net present value mechanisms are adopted. NPV hame koche. The IRR method is also adopted. NPV, IRR method. Next is profitability index. IRR कौन?
Internal rate of return.
return.
Internal rate of return mechanism. Profitability index. Payback period method. Payback period method. ROI method. Payback, ROI, return on investment method. Discounted cash flow method. Consumer behavior and market strategy mechanisms. Consumer behavior and market strategy mechanisms. Now, these are the different mechanisms which are adopted to evaluate the project. Okay. Okay. With this, my third unit is over. In fact, gote jinso chhadichi, that is your sources of finance. Next class beginning re kahiki I will start with unit 4. The third unit is over. I'll start with unit 4. Okay. Then I hope all the classes must be going on in its own way. I'll share my material and notes, whatever I have. If anyone will come with a pen drive, then I will share, and I hope it can be shared among all. Okay. Shall I leave now? Any other?
Sir,
Risk
risk analysis is in third unit. Right?
analysis and profitability index will come here in case of project evaluation. Right? Risk analysis jodi padila tahale tumku jaha tumara likhicha project evaluation re, this will come.
Okay, sir.
So you need to analyze the risk through different mechanisms, through different methodologies. These are the methodologies, these are the mechanisms. Okay. Evaluation, if the evaluation is done in a systematic manner, then risk can be avoided. Okay. Shall I leave now?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good night, sir.
Good night.